Let me just take a moment here and say thank you for last night. It was such a huge night for us. News Nation put on a town hall that was so legit, thanks to the players and the people in the audience. Our ratings here put us in the running with the other cables. Do you know how amazing that is for a startup? I mean, I'm telling you, I worked at ABC News, I worked at Fox before that, I worked at CNN. That reach is decades in the making. So for us to pop up because of what we were able to pull off last night is extraordinary, literally. It is something that would be very hard to repeat. And the media is not going to tell you about it because they have zero interest in News Nation disrupting the grip of fringe agendas, right? Everybody's picking sides. We refuse to do it here. We expose the sides, but it doesn't matter because thanks to our sister network, the CW, and X and all the radio stations, we had unprecedented reach. And what matters to me is not just the numbers, but the quality, what people got to experience. We had a full spectrum of political players and perspectives and no food fight. We were just talking about what the administration has done and needs to do now. You know, as O'Reilly said last night, we had 2+ hours that was highly informational, not confrontational. Think about that. Cable, these podcasts, it's all about screaming pundits and extremism. And look, I can get after it with anybody, but that is often just clickbait, gratuitous, and I think, frankly, it's part of the problem. The majority is sick of it. The president was on. He was pressed to explain a number of concerns, and he gave more than usual, addressing common concerns that affect the majority, not fringe interests or culture wars. I have never worked anywhere, almost 30 years, that would take a risk like we did. And my boss even got us a sponsor in Hartford Gold that paid to give us limited commercials. It was the closest to a public service covering politics I've ever been a part of. So thank you. I know we can get past the parties and their agendas. I know News Nation betting on critical thinking independence is the right bet. And look, I see proof of premise in our new poll with DDHQ. Over 80% of us now believe the two-party system is not effective. It is time to disrupt the system, not to simply break it, but to make something better. So what do you say? Let's get after it. We broke so much ground on the show, I got to bring in better minds to process. Now, one of the answers that popped with me from the president last night during the town hall was whether or not he sees his legacy, if he wants to be known as a great president, that he must find a way to be seen as a unifier because every great president in our history has been a unifier. Here's what he said. We're very divided, you know this. You want to be remembered as one of the greatest presidents in America. You know our history. Every president who's considered great was seen as a unifier. What do you need to do to be remembered as someone who could bring this country together?
Well, I think I will be a great unifier. That's what I want to be, and it's very important to me. What I have to do is save the country. The country was going down the tubes. This country was in big trouble. You had a border where millions of people were pouring in from jails, from prisons. They were pouring in at levels from mental institutions, gang members, terrorists, and we're getting them out. We got to get them out of their country. I don't know if that's unity or disunity, but I have no choice. You know, some things you have no choice.
See, that's the key. The president says he's not wrong about immigration, okay? With the rest of it, that's up to your opinion. But he doesn't know if it's unity or disunity, what he's doing. And that is a distinction with a difference. And it's the difference between capturing the imagination and giving the American people a reason to believe in something as a common concern, as a collective, as a country, as opposed to finding ways to divide and conquer. Advancement versus advantage, mere advantage. So let's discuss what it meant and what we now understand about where we need to be and where we think we're going. Okay. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.